Hey guys, it's Christy and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we have a review and wear test of the new Sheglam Skinfluencer Full Coverage Foundation Balm. So before we get into it, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel before you leave. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy, and let's get into it. Alright guys, so this is the outer packaging. Again, this is from Sheglam. This is Shein's makeup line if you're unfamiliar, but this is a really affordable foundation. So this retails for $8.49 each. This is available in 30 shades. This is a full coverage, lightweight, buildable, long wear foundation with active ingredients to moisturize. This is also supposed to be safe for sensitive skin. It's supposed to be talc-free, alcohol-free, and contain hypoallergenic ingredients. So this describes itself as a foundation with a silky texture that feels like the second skin in a velvet-like cream formula. Very curious about that. I'm very interested in that velvet-like claim. I like that. I do not like foundations that are tacky. So after I pull this out of the box, it actually comes in this really pretty kind of soft velvet case, like a kind of like a high-end product. And then so you just pull it out like so, and this is the balm. I quite like the packaging. I think it looks really sleek and classy. It is just a hard plastic, but it looks nice. So I'm happy with that. So this is what she looks like. So this is made in the PRC. This does say it has a 12-month shelf life once you open it, but it also has an expiry date of April 14th, 2025. So this is good for quite a while. And I also picked up the shade Fair. Top of the lid just twists off. It actually does have like one of these tin type things here. Okay, that was really satisfying. So this is what it looks like on the inside. I think this shade is going to be a good shade match. So they do have a little booklet that kind of comes with the product, and I noticed the same thing with their powder as well. So this does say that this type of product, because it does contain wax, it might kind of sit and the product might sweat, so it might have what looks to be little water droplets on the product. That's fine, and it doesn't affect the usage, which is kind of nice that they say that, because something like that happened to my Tower 28 blush and I kind of freaked out a little. So I think what I'm going to do today is right now I just have on my skincare, and I think what I want to do is I think one side of my face I'm going to prime, powder, set all of the things, and then the other side I'm not going to prime or powder. So that's what I think I'm going to do. So this side we will prime and powder. Hopefully I don't mess this up. And I'm just using my Dior Backstage Primer. I just find this gives a really nice smooth canvas. So I'm really hoping that full coverage aspect is there. I definitely have a lot of breakouts just on this side of my face, as you can tell. So it does say to gently swirl your finger in the product to activate the moisture and then go in with a brush. So I thought that was kind of interesting, so let's just do that right now. Oh, okay. It really does kind of activate it a little bit. And now it feels slightly more moussey, which is kind of interesting. I don't want to waste this, so I'm just going to, let's go over the prime side first. Interesting. Okay, it's quite thick, actually. I wasn't expecting that. The shade match looks like it's going to be pretty close. Okay, that blended out really nicely. I don't feel like I got a ton of coverage though. Okay, let's go back in on this side. Let's go in on this side and see. Okay, maybe just applying directly from, oh, okay. Applying directly from the brush definitely gets a lot more coverage. I've really been noticing this is definitely a year of complexion, but it's really, but I feel like foundation balms are really exploding this year. Like I think Danessa Myricks had something. We know the L'Oreal balm that I love. Wayne Goss has his cream foundation, which is also in a balmy sort of pot. Okay, so I definitely got more coverage when I went in just directly with the brush. I might have gone in too hard and gotten too much though. I do want to see how it performs with a sponge. So because I need more coverage on this side, I'm just going to do that and see what happens. Okay, it looks quite nice with the sponge. Yeah, you can definitely get away with using this with a sponge for sure. It's definitely full coverage. I definitely feel like it is very pigmented, so you really don't need a ton when you're going in. I feel like my shade match was good though. I feel like fair was definitely the right shade for me. Okay, it's feeling very lightweight on the skin. It does not feel heavy. It does not feel like I'm wearing a lot of makeup, which I like. I've really come to realize that that is a feeling I hate. And there are some of my very favorite foundations I found that actually kind of do. Okay, I'm actually preferring this with the sponge. I think the sponge does a really nice job. It just makes it look quite a bit more skin-like. A little bit goes a long way. It really does. And it's definitely very creamy. Yeah, I don't mind this at all. I kind of like this. Okay, let's do the whole concealer business. I'm just taking my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. It's possible I should be using a lighter one today, but that's okay. Okay, so for the sake of the video, I am going to take my Sheglam Insta Ready powder. I am going to powder both my under eyes, and I have to say, I've tried this powder a couple times now, and it's so good. Normally, I am pretty religious about my Pat McGrath powder for under my eyes, but this actually is so super smoothing. And then what's fun about this one is after that, in the bottom, you guys probably see this, but in the bottom you do have a loose powder. I will say you get a lot out with this one, so you do want to be quite careful. The sifter's not the best. Again, I am just going to set this side of my face. Okay, let me pop off camera, finish up the rest of my makeup, and I will be right back. Alright guys, so the rest of the makeup is on, and I think I like the foundation so far. So as we mentioned, it's definitely very pigmented. I definitely think a little bit goes a long way. So on this side of my face, I did prime, I did add some powder. I did powder my under eyes on both sides, but I did only fully powder this side of my face. So the side that I didn't powder has a slight tack to it. Nothing bad, nothing aggressive. It still doesn't feel very heavy. The side that I powdered looks kind of dry. I will say the side that I didn't powder, it doesn't look dry. It's definitely kind of, I would definitely say that velvet description of how it dries down is pretty accurate. It does dry down. It's not too tacky, but it's not all the way matte either. I do think the side where I use the powder, it's very matte. And I do feel like it looks a little bit dry, but not bad. Not bad by any means. It just does look a little bit dry. The side that does not have powder, I find it is really settling into all of the lines. Like right around my nose area, I can see it really settling in there. I see it really settling into a smile line over here. This just might be a product that you have to powder. It is a balm, so it is going to be a little bit creamier, but overall, I don't mind it so far. The foundation has been on for about an hour at this point, so we're still going to give it another 10, 11 hours maybe, but so far it looks fine. It's very matte, but it looks fine. It's not overly drying. It's not heavy. It doesn't feel like I'm wearing a ton of makeup on my skin, so I like that. So far, so good. I will see you guys at the end of the day. Hey guys, so we are at the end of the day, and the foundation has been on for about 10 hours at this point. So we've given it a pretty good test. I do have some thoughts. So first of all, I love how creamy this is. I feel like this went on super well. I feel like this is a very pigmented foundation, which I like. I do think it dries down to a bit of a soft matte, which I really like. I do think the side that I powdered, I don't love. Perhaps I need a much finer powder. Perhaps the Sheglam powder was a little bit too heavy. I do just see a lot of clinging and settling into pores right here, which is weird because I did prime this side as well, but I noticed a lot of dryness right up in here. So I'm just really not loving the side that I powdered. The under eyes are fine. That under eye powder is phenomenal. The side that I didn't powder looks really good. It has a little bit of a radiance to it, but not much. It's still very much intact, very much in place. I don't see it breaking up, maybe around my nose area just a tiny bit, but I really don't see it breaking up very much. My forehead on this side looks great. It just looks really healthy, a little bit radiant, but mostly just really, really healthy. I noticed when we initially put it on, the side that had the powder, it did look very matte and a little bit dry. And then looking at it now, it still looks very, very dry. I'm definitely preferring the side that I did not powder. And I'm also noticing that even though I didn't powder it, I didn't use setting spray, I didn't use primer, the foundation didn't move. So I'm really, really impressed by that. And again, it did not feel heavy on the skin. I certainly have some foundations that I can really, really feel on the skin throughout the day, and I don't like that. This is one that you can almost forget that you're wearing because it's so lightweight on the skin, and it does dry down to a bit of a soft matte, kind of like a velvety texture on the skin. With respect to tackiness, I felt the tiniest bit of tackiness when I initially put it on. I don't feel it so much now. But again, I'm just really, really impressed. I mean, my breakouts are kind of coming through because I did concealer on those spots and I guess I didn't powder them. But overall, I really, really like the way the skin looks. I would not use that loose powder with it again. I would probably try using it with maybe my Kosas powder or my Dior powder to see, but I really didn't need to powder this because it lasted all day on the side that I didn't do all of the usual steps. The side where I did do all the usual steps, it lasted all day, but it's looking super, super dry because of that powder. So I would not recommend that. Keep in mind that I have dry skin. So somebody with oily skin might prefer to powder this down. Somebody with dry skin like me, you don't need to powder it down. I would recommend not powdering it, if anything. But overall, I really like it. The shade match that I got, again, I got the shade Fair. It's a great match for me. I really, really like it. It looks great on the skin. It made my skin look just really healthy. It held on to the rest of the makeup pretty good. So overall, this is a really great foundation. And this is $8. $8. It is so hard to get a good drugstore foundation for $8 anymore. I'm gonna have to definitely wear this a little bit more to let you know if I like it more than the L'Oreal 4-in-1 Tinted Balm Foundation. That's also a good one. And I also kind of want to get my thoughts between this one and the Wayne Gauze. So far, I like this one more. I do. I like it quite a bit more so far. So far, better than the Wayne Gauze. Not sure if it's better than the L'Oreal, but I really, really like it. So far, I'm really liking the way my foundation turned out today. I honestly was not expecting great things. I mean, it's an $8 foundation. It's from Shein. I really didn't know what to expect, but so far really, really like it. Very impressed, very surprised in the best way possible. But yeah, this worked out really well. So dry skin approved, just don't powder it. But overall, I love it. So yeah, I would recommend picking this up, especially just for $8. That is it for me today. Thank you so very much for watching. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. I do upload at least 3 new videos every single week. And that's it for me today. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!